when I was governor, I made it very clear that even if Biafra were going to be, that Eboyi will not be part of it. Because if he has regarded Eboyi State as part of Southeast, he would have known that the president has favored the governor of Eboyi State and by extension the entire governors of Southeast by providing army training depot. I said boldly, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, having done all these things, that there will be no need for agitation of Biafra again.
You know, it's really funny seeing what our Southeast leaders are doing, especially this one called David Umahi. And as we all know that Yana and Kano, they are not in good terms, they don't align together. So should I say that whenever they become, you know, or they enter into a popular political office, then they start misbehaving? Because that is exactly thing that I'm seeing that is happening to us now. Then look at what David Umahi have already said. Here no now on his razy. Become metro and subscribe button, and don't forget to on your notification bell and share and like this video. Thank you. Why Ogiji say that Eboyi State is not even part of the Southeast? Then how many is not even part of the Biafra land? Then how many states are there in Biafra land? Amam say as onye bia APC na nzuzu ma oburishi ya fefu. Because here now David Umahi Megana goes through that Oburishia and now with him. Because including all the whole state and saying that Eboyi State is not part of Biafra can never be said or even recognized. But as it stands now, as long as the Southeast is concerned, which happened to be the Biafra state, is still yet 5, which other states will still be including. And you know, Okugonya so many times, even Mboka governor, that Eboyi State is not part of Biafra, even if there is anything that should happen, even if Biafra should come to reality. Okay, come go see the video and go through say Eboyi State against one of Biafra, even if Biafra they're good nature. But don't forget to share this video to your friends and loved ones. And don't forget to click on your subscribe button.
If anybody is telling you about Biafra, first and foremost, I've been saying it. Chief Elechi said it. Eboyi State will never be part of Biafra. We are not Biafra. We've been so oppressed. And now we are finding our feet. And you want us to go back. We will not. We are better in a fair and equitable Nigeria. And we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We will continue to insist, to dialogue, to appeal that we be treated fairly like other regions in Nigeria.
Because the president has provided inclusive governance in the country. And he said that they are not support that, what has he done for them? That they will support him. And I want to tell you what the president has done for the governors of Southeast and also for the zone. In the first place, the governor of Abia State is my cousin, Dr. Alex Oti, who is doing extremely very well. Not in a party. I want him to be in a party. And I've attended an occasion with Governor Oti and also Senator Baribe. And he had praised, Dr. Oti, the governor, very highly for performance. And of course, I agree totally with him and Abia people. They love and support they show to the governor of Abia State because of his capacity and, a very serious shift in terms of dividends of democracy, judging from the past administrations. And so let me tell Senator Baribe that the performance of Governor Oti is a product of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If he didn't have the audacity and the courage to release more money to the governors, Governor Oti will not be doing what he's doing. And I'm happy that Governor Oti, in my presence, acknowledged that the subnationals are part of the national government. Of course, we have the head of government, which is Mr. President. So every success recorded by the governor, and in particular the governor of Abia State, is a success that the president has offered. And so I want him to be corrected and to note that, using his own governor as an example. But I want him to also know that, before now, we were never, in the past 8 years, of the former administration, they would share service chiefs and none would come to, Southeast. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has corrected, that, I will call it wickedness. Because how will a zone be totally excluded? And so in the first service chief's appointment, he gave us a, naval chief, very strategic. And the naval chief performed very, very well, that the president had to thank him. And when it was reshuffled, he also gave us a chief, very strategic, for our sit at home, which the naval chief, I believe, is going to wipe away, because we have lost so much, in terms of, the ungodly declaration of sit at home, which is, inflicting injuries, by ourselves, on ourselves. So, just last 2 weeks, the president directed that army depot be established in Eboyi State. And Senator Baribe may not regard Eboyi State as part of Southeast. And that's when I was governor, I made it very clear that even if Biafra were going to be, that Eboyi will not be part of it. Because if he has regarded Eboyi State as part of Southeast, he would have known that the president has favored the governor of Eboyi State, and by extension the entire governors of Southeast, by providing army training depot, to tackle our, insecurity. This is very key. The Enyimba City, power plant, it is under the president that, the place became functional. All the bottlenecks were, set aside. And last instance, he's a lawmaker. And he has been in the Senate for a very long time. I don't want to ask what and what he has achieved for his people, because I'm not part of his people, But if we put tangibles of what he has achieved and he's questioning me, then I have to question what he has achieved. Because by saying that I didn't care about the procurement process, it's an attack on my personality and integrity. And I think that after correcting him, that he will have to withdraw the statement. Because if he doesn't, I will say more, so that we put our achievements side by side, and then the people of our region will judge, So there are 3 kinds of procurement process that the, Procurement Act prescribed. I want to tax him to go and study it and come back to tell me whether in the procurement of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, whether there was any infringement in terms of the procurement process. And I want to educate him that if there was no ESIA, which we did, and the process of ESIA for, an international funders to even, participate in funding of the project, the recourse is much. It was advertised, it was discussed, there was an independent discussant, a professor, that came and, did stakeholders engagement of all shades of people, and it was internationally open for comments. And at the end of the day, a certificate of, ESIA was issued to us, and I displayed it, and I think our rights people can still go to the archive and then let him see that ESIA, is very important. The international funders under the, the Dutch Development Bank that did the evaluation of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway Section 1, they came out with a, verdict. 1, the project is properly, packaged. Number 2, the quality of the project is of very high standard. Number 3, the project was undervalued. And that's why when it was put forward for, financial institutions outside the country to bid, it was oversubscribed by 100 million US dollars. So the international funders are not jokers. There are people that will even ask you to bring your grandmother before they approve any fund for you. So I want him to be educated that proper procedure was followed. And in any case, he's not interested that this particular route is passing through his community. The road between Ekotepene and Umahi, this coastal way is passing. Just because he says it's an opposition, he has waived all the merits and all the assistance the president is giving to Southeast. And he was questioning the projects of Southeast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I continue to say, maybe because the Trans-Sahara Road is passing between, Eboyi, through Enugu. It's not counting Eboyi and Enugu as part of Southeast. Otherwise, I should have known that the president has, awarded 123.5 kilometers of Section 1 of Trans-Sahara, running from Ndibe Beach in Eboyi State and going through Benue, to Kogi, to Nasarawa, and ending in Abuja. And that's the third legacy project, Mr. President. That project is 456 billion, 50% paid by Mr. President. He doesn't also know that the 17.5 connecting, bypass, second Niger Bridge bypass, has been awarded to CGC, and our work is ongoing there, and the total cost of that project is 170 billion, 30% fully paid by this man that he said has not done anything for Southeast. He has not also known that Enugu Abakaliki dualized road is been awarded and over 43 billion paid, 183 billion, 118 kilometers. He has to be educated that this is what the president is doing for us. He has to be educated that from Afibo in Eboyi down to Abia, his own state, and down to Okigwe, Imo State, that the Dangote tax credit is ongoing. And that project is about 64 kilometers and is costing 196 billion. He has to be educated. He has to be educated that Owerri-Onitsha road that has been awarded to CGC, it is ongoing. He has to be educated. He has to be educated that the Enugu-Onitsha that has been ongoing for the past 20 years, has been put to rest by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that the first section of it is under MTN tax credit, 202 billion. The president is doing that road. And the balance of it, which is 72 kilometers, is being done by SKCC. That's 150 billion, 30% fully paid. He has to know. He has to know that artisan bridge that got broken due to, flood distance, 75-meter length, 3 spans, dual, it's been fully completed by the president at Artisan in Enugu State and commissioned. He needs to know. He needs to know that we have 23, flyover bridge at Emene in Enugu State. That project is about 90% done. Before now, even those going to Eboyi, going to Benue, going to Goja, will spend 7 hours on that road. But today, you don't even spend 10 minutes on the road, courtesy of Mr. President. Senator Baribe needs to know that the Enugu-Port Harcourt has been ongoing, and the journey of 2.5 hours would take 7 hours. Before the president came on board, you wouldn't travel between Aba and Port Harcourt. Today, one full carriageway is fully completed, and you can engage one carriageway from Enugu, straight to Port Harcourt. And the governors of Southeast are very happy. They are very grateful to the president. And, I can boldly say that the president has done very well for Southeast people, and as Southeast people, we vote for Mr. President. He said he will not be voted 2027. I think Senator Baribe was talking about himself, because both APC and Labour is going to take his seat You know, when you see a very, astute performer and politician, Senator Joseph Okalo, of course, Joseph was his boss, and he was deputy governor. I don't know why he sacked him. Maybe for issues like this, darkening council without knowledge. So I can assure you that he was talking about himself. He won't be talking about the president that has been acknowledged all over the country as having taken back the country. You see, when people darken council without knowledge, it's because we have a president who is not reading the book of lamentation, to let you know the kind of economy that he took. He's not complaining because he's a man of his words. He said, I saw all these problems and I took it. So there's no need to complain. It is to, attack the problems. And the worst is over. He's taking over, the country for Nigerians. And I do not say what I cannot prove. Look at the foreign reserve. Look at the stability of the naira. Look at inflation down to 14. Yes, all the macro indices would have been taken back. And he's doing everything to trickle down to the micro, indices. The NEFLONT for students, the empowerment, renewed hope empowerment that is going to go through all the wards, the food prices coming down, and so many other things Mr. President has done. This security is being fought headlong. For the first time, kidnappers would kidnap our people, and through the grace of God upon him and the very hard-working security agencies would recover them. This is how what the president is doing. And I believe that if you are in opposition, be constructive. And I think that the cyberbullying, act should be deployed so that when you say things you cannot prove, just to deceive the public, you should be able to answer to that. This is very, very critical and very important. And so, when I said boldly, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, having done all these things, that there will be no need for agitation of Biafra again. And I saw, I watched Arise this morning, and they were talking about it. And Abati said, look, there is no region that is not talking about marginalization. And so, what I then meant was that we were excluded, Southeast people were excluded from the affairs of the nation. And the president has included us. So having included us, then we can talk about marginalization alongside with other zones. They talk about that you've never been president. If I've never been president since, is it Bola Ahmed Tinubu that will make it overnight by ceding his own position? No, he has to complete his 2 tenures. We are comfortable with what he's doing. We've been included. And so we can talk about marginalization, alongside with other zones. People talk about the effect of civil war. By including us, it means it's the right step. Whatever that went wrong, he has the capacity and the good heart, to, redeem it. It wasn't just South, it's South, part of it. So I want to boldly say that there is no need for Biafra agitation. We are better in Nigeria. Look at our resources in Southwest, in North, all over the country. And so anybody calling for, Biafra under this kind, high-hearted president who has included us is not being wise. And I am very bold to ask our people to speak out. Let the leaders be bold to speak out, because we can't keep quiet while, people that don't have economic, knowledge and the knowledge about administration will be darkening council without knowledge, and we as leaders, we keep quiet. We have to stand up. It doesn't mean that we are 100% okay. No region is 100% okay, but the journey has just started. And we believe strongly that the president is uniting the 6 geopolitical zones. We believe that under him, by the end of his second tenure, Nigeria would have been a united, country, where the man from Sokoto will be in Eboyi state, no harassment, he has equal rights with others. And this is very important. And to every, region, I ask you, when you move from one region to the other, Obey the laws of the people. Obey the culture of the people. Don't be more Catholic than Pope. Respect the people so that there will be no, altercation. My people used to say that you cannot become a wife and then become first daughter. It doesn't work that way. This is very important. And then I will shift from Southeast, and I still say that, look, the leaders of Southeast should, hear me out. We have been included. The marginalization, like Abati said, everybody's crying of marginalization, And I thank Ojukwe for bringing up the matter because, it should be in national, dialogue and discussion, so that people will know that we are out of the dark ages. And I ask every Southeast person to be very low about it, but to be very bold and courageous anywhere you are. This country belongs to all of us. No one is a stranger, and no one will be a stranger. We all have equal rights. We all have equal opportunities. That's my words for them. If you break the law, I'm not part of you. If you go to a place and become unruly, I'm not part of you. But so far, you obey the laws of the land. And of course, you're humble to do your business. We have equal rights. That's the much I can say.
Yeah. See, yeah. Efulefu. Some people misread road. Eluche, onye fụtara asam oyibo, onye fụtara asam gọvanọ. Atụrụ kwesịrị ịwụ gọvanọ. As ka mpikele onye kwesịrị ịwụ gọvanọ. Is David Umahi qualified to be a governor? Because a very indigenous, even if you don't want to be a Biafra, a very indigenous Igbo man should not be discrediting his land or saying because you manage to be in the power or you manage to be in the corridors of power, then that will make you to say that your people are not among these people just because you have a selfish interest that lies with your own favor. Then you just try to exclude every other person. Now all these things now mentioned now, like here President Bola Tinubu, Eleke, which one is visible to your people? Which one is visible to the Biafran people? Which one is visible that anyị ga-asị nke na ka anyị ga-eyirila ka anyị ga-esi nke ka anyị hụrụ na nke Bola Tinubu metere anyị kwete na ọwa ezi. Countering Senator Abaribe will not be a solution to this problem. Saying all jargons with his mouth will not be a solution to this. Trying to be a political hypocrite to the people of Southeast and the Biafra nation entirely will not be let me just say, a problem solved to us, but rather he's still trying to, ya na-asị mmadụ iji aka ya emete ihe na-egbu ya ni. Yes, he's trying to lay curse upon himself and upon his generation by denying his roots. Also, not only denying his root, he's also forcing people from the same root with him that these are not your people, because of this, because of what have we seen so differently that for the past 2 to 3 years that this government have been in power, that you say that we have ndị Igbo anyị kwuo okporo ụzọ now, and of which here ka so na one of the thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu eme. Anyị gbọtụkwasị Biafra agaghị bịa no ọzọ unu si ka hafụ n'okwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, ọzọ unu si ka hafụ okwu Biafra, ngwani unu ga-emere anyị ihe unu mere ndị ọzọ, and of which enwe ọzọ anyị fụrụ ha emege echikwa ebe a rụkwa 27 kilometers ke echikwa ebe a rụkwa 27 kilometers ke arụkwa ke arụkwara ka ọzọ emekwara ke emekwa ka ọzọ enyekwara ego ke enyekwara ka ọzọ we did this we did that we do it in the other way all these things are blah 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 and that is coming from a nonsensible human being that called himself an Igbo indigene who happened to be a governor. You see, it's very, very bad, and the people that we trust into power, to be in us. Now, look at what somebody is just saying. He's talking to his own favorability, not to the favor of Ndibo, not to the favor of Eboyi State, but rather Kege Junabia, trying to discredit Senator Beribe, calling him all sorts of names, even trying to make mockery of him because look at Ngo say, na Ojuzokalo. Ojuzokalo. Then Ojuzokalo him and Beribe, they say, Ogawukwa, deputy governor. Then somebody who have been criticizing so like this have become a senator for many years now, and his people still confide power in him to be into that place just to represent them. And should we say that anyone again pass mark not to be, then Agungakwa say even with your power as a governor, Abaribe still beats you. So it is very very bad that anyị ga-asị onye ke wụ nke anyị maka na ndị Igbo si hapụ iro n'ụlọ gbagbuo elenu n'ọhịa. Exactly thing ihe anyị tụge n'ala Biafra. Hapụ na otu ọ ga-esi eme, hapụ na otu ọ dị, kama ka anyị welata n'ike ụlọ. That is just it. Now, ị na-afụzi ihe ọnụ na-atị ya bra Abaribe mekwere ke si President Tinubu mekwere ke na enwe gọvanọ kwesịrị Ifeanyi Bekwo ke na Alex Oti mekwere nke ọzọ o mekwe nke onye onwe ya o mekwe. Oh God, when will it going to stop all this nonsense that we are doing? When is this thing going to end? Because Senator Abaribe was a strong indigenous Igbo man and a Biafran, and as we have been saying, he have been representing in every court cases in the Kano. Then what have you in David Umahi? What have you in David Umahi? Nothing to show off, nothing to represent for, only blah 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 blah. President Tinubu merekreke, but well, at the end of the day, I got free for us for President Tinubu, and I got for all they like here so much, all they feel like he is more important to him than his people. Because all the whole major road that he said they have been doing, they have been constructing, we have never seen anyone that passes, they are still in paper until we see the manifestation of it. By then, we shall agree that you are saying the reality. But for now, let's assume that everything is still propaganda. Well, share your opinion in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thank you and God bless.